Hi guys, so I'm finally reviewing my favorite Christmas movie, Elf, from 2003. A classic Christmas movie and will always be my favorite. And I like it more than Home Alone. Yeah, I said it. Well, everyone has their own favorite, Christmas movies. There's Polar Express, Home Alone, like I said. And I'm happy to hear that a lot of people like, Jingle All the Way, since to me that's still underrated. But I'm just happy that people like it. Like there's people out there that, really like it. Yeah. Yeah, this will always be my favorite one, and the one that will always make me laugh the most. It's just so classic and Will Ferrell's best movie forever. I guess another good movie from Will Ferrell is Megamind. The Other Guys, I wasn't really a fan of that. Is it Step Brothers or something? I definitely didn't like that. Like this was the only movie where I loved him in it because all the rest, I'd say he's great in Megamind, and then the rest, yeah, yeah. This will always be my favorite role that he did. But yeah, I guess the story is that an elf who's actually a human used to be in a orphanage, but with nuns. But then I guess Santa Claus visited the orphanage and then actually left. Well, he was basically doing his duty, but then the orphan baby actually ends up in Santa's bag and actually accidentally brings him to the North Pole, and that's where also, the main character's called Buddy. He's a human, but he was raised with elves and Santa Claus in the North Pole, so he can't really do things like what elves can do. And he eventually, I guess, finds out, but like 30 years later, because yeah, because all that stuff that happened that took place like 30 years ago, and then we jump to I guess the current time of the movie where he's all grown up. But yeah, I'll get more into the story as when I talk about spoiler stuff because I've never seen the trailer, so I used to see it advertised all the time on Channel 4 in the UK. Like I used to love every time it came on every Christmas. I used to watch it every Christmas on Channel 4. Well, Film 4, I think it was. The same advertisement every time. Probably still the same, yeah. If I still had access to Channel 4 or Film 4. Yeah. Because at this point, I just use like YouTube and stuff, Netflix, yeah. I don't really use normal cable TV anymore. And probably very soon it'll be gone. Well, depends. But yeah. But I do think in the future, like cable TV will be like completely gone. So yeah. But yeah, I'm just gonna get into the cast now. All right. So for the cast, we have Will Ferrell as Buddy. We have Zoe Dench. Wait, how do I say her name? Zoe Deschanel as Jovi. James Caan as Walter. Well, Walter is basically Buddy's dad, but I'll get more into that when I'm talking about spoilers. Even does that even count as a spoiler? Because he ends up going to New York, but he's kind of the reason, because he to meet his dad since he was in an orphanage. So that's already pieced together, but I don't even know if they say that in the trailer. But yeah, Zoe Deschanel as Jovi, like I guess that's his crush in the movie. And I don't understand why I couldn't say her name the first time because I know this actor, so yeah, hello. And then some of the others, well, Peter Dinklage, as like that's like my favorite scene in the movie with what happens, but we'll get to that, when I'm talking about the movie. And then there's Daniel Tay as Michael. He's a lot older now. John Favreau as the director of Iron Man, Doctor Leonardo. He just has a small part in the movie. I guess Amy Sedaris Deb is the receptionist. Faison Love is the guy who's in charge of that store, which Buddy works in for a little bit. Gimbal. I guess Michael Lerner is Walter's boss. Well, Michael Lerner as Fulton is, Walter's boss in the place that he works. Morris is one of the employees, another one. I think that's the main ones anyway, who are actually in the movie. And then there's the news reporter at the end. But did I even mention, the one who actually plays as Santa Claus? Yeah, Ed Asner as Santa Claus. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'd say well, would I say third most important character? Because he's the one who actually looked after Buddy. because when Buddy arrived to the North Pole, someone needed to look after him, and Papa Elf was the one who looked after him. I think he's like 490 or something years old. He's a very old elf. Bob Newhart. Yeah. But yeah, I guess I can then start talking about spoilers. But yeah, as I always say, I highly recommend the movie. You should definitely watch it. Because, man, this is my favorite Christmas movie, and, Will Ferrell's best movie that he made for me. Because I've seen a lot of these other movies, and I do like him in Zoolander. Yeah, he's alright in Zoolander, but yeah. This is always going to be my favorite anyway, that he's done. So yeah, I already told like the base story where a kid in an orphanage ends up in a Santa's bag, and then he actually ends up in the North Pole, and then Santa Claus needs to think what he's gonna actually do with him. But then that's when Papa Elf wants to look after him. I think at this point, I don't know what age he is, maybe 30, but then I guess for elves that's still young for them, but for humans, yeah, that's much older. So he kind of stands out. I'm just surprised he doesn't really work out things. Like, am I a human or something? It isn't until Papa Elf actually tells him when he realizes that. But yeah, he knows that he's not able to do things like what the other elves can do, because he makes like 89 toys, but then like they make like 8 to 900 toys. Because I guess, how do elves even do that? Man, they're so skilled, but he doesn't really have the same skills as elves because he's a human, and he's starting to get sad about that. And that's when Papa Elf actually tells him that he's a human and tells him about his real father and stuff. Yeah. All right, so eventually he decides to go to New York to find his real father, since I guess Papa Elf and Santa kind of tell him the whole story, and Foster also gives him some advice of what he should do. That he should also meet his real father, because this whole time he thought Papa Elf was his dad, but he finds out the truth from them. So yeah, he journeys out to he leaves the North Pole and journeys out to to New York City, which he actually makes he makes that journey on foot, but he's a human, so that's kind of weird. Like in real life, I don't know if he'd be able to do that. So that's very well. Am I really gonna say unrealistic? Where we actually get to see the North Pole and all these fictional characters, even Frosty, and these animal creatures that can talk. Yeah. So yeah, yeah, I can't say that. But I'm just saying, like, since it's a human, wouldn't he freeze and stuff with what he's wearing? Unless they're that well made. I don't know. I wouldn't know. So yeah, he basically goes to the Empire State, building where his dad works. And yeah, I guess they think it's like some Christmas thing where they sing, but it's actually come there to see his dad. He just has no idea what's going on. But then he got security to get him out the building, buddy. Yeah. And then I think that's the scene where he goes to the shop as well to, I guess, be a Santa's little helper and stuff. Yeah. Well, that's kind of a different job. Like he does two jobs in this movie. I think he goes to the store first and then the Santa's little helper job. Yeah, both of those parts in the movie are fun. So yeah, this is the part where he also meets his I guess crush in the movie, and we get the scene where he says Santa's coming to town, and then Buddy's just like Santa, oh my god, it's just so extra. Probably like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Yeah. But yeah, he kind of finds it a bit hard to talk to her. He doesn't really know what to say, but I guess she still kind of likes him anyway. So they get on. And yeah, like there's also a scene later on where when everyone leaves, when he actually makes all these decorations and stuff in the store, and the boss is just like, "Who the hell did this?" But yeah, and then like, how does he get fired again? I know he does something that the boss doesn't like, and then well, I think he does it to someone else, and the boss knows what happens, and then I guess he gets fired afterwards. But yeah, that's also a funny scene. All right, so this is the place where he's being Santa's little helper with all the kids, and I guess he just thinks that Santa's actually here, but then since he doesn't really know things properly because he's lived in the North Pole all his life, Yeah, this happens where you disgust me. How can you live with yourself? You sit on the throne of lies. That's one of my favorite, lines in the movie. You smell like beef and cheese. He's an imposter. He's not Santa. Lol. Like he doesn't even realize what he's doing. And the kids are just like, ah! And I don't know if he starts fighting with him too. Just like the guy in the store. Yeah. I just can't remember how that went again. Yeah. I always forget that scene. Like how the fight actually starts. Because I was kind of not really paying attention in that scene. Because, yeah, I was like on my phone texting someone. So, yeah. But yeah, this scene, I always know how it starts. Alright, so eventually the dad actually, gets some information from the doctor who he visits, basically the Iron Man director, and he tells him that he should he tells him first that it's actually his son, but is actually his son because basically his wife passed away and never really got to tell about the son. But then he eventually, after leaving the North Pole, finds the dad and kind of has letters and pictures from when they used to be together, because he even has a picture of the wife. He's at first he was thinking like, who hired you and stuff, but then having all that information, like, I guess there must have been more to it. What he was probably thinking, what Walter was probably thinking, yeah. And then trying to accept that this person is his son, like some guy who thinks he's an elf, and the way how he acts is just so childlike. Like, oh yes, the scenes where he's like running around New York. That's just so funny. Yeah, they're funny scenes. Like sometimes it's just like, oh man, this is hard to watch because everyone who that's watching him, man, but it's still funny. And yeah, when he actually meets, Walter's family, also the little son, like the son just thinks that Buddy's really weird, and is that really my brother? Also, the scene, like this is the scene where he's also he drinks like Coca-Cola, like he drinks the whole bottle all at once. This is also a funny scene, and every time he eats, he always wants to eat with candy. But then, wouldn't he have like diabetes or something? Like what the hell? And Sif has been eating like that all this time. Jesus, yeah. They must not let him do that all the time. Well, Papa Elf anyway. Yeah. Scene where I guess because at first the little brother just thought he was really weird and kind of embarrassed him when when he went to his when Buddy went to his school, and like, he was just like, oh god, I don't know him. But then when there's a scene where I guess they get ambushed by these people with snowballs, that's when I guess they start to bond with Buddy, like having some aimbot Call of Duty mod and just taking them all out, just grabbing a bunch of snowballs and then just going like just aimbotting them all. And then one tries to get away, then he gets like really far, but then he's able to get like a long shot, and then the guy just goes like, eh! Like whatever that is. Yeah, and then it just starts to bond after that. He just starts to have a lot of fun with like with Buddy. They just start to propagate him, and I can't really blame him since his dad's no fun and is always at work. So yeah, that's when, and especially when something happens later on in the movie, which I guess I could start talking about that now with Peter Dinklage's character, since that's someone who's trying to do something with business related. But yeah, we'll just get into that now. Oh yeah, and one more thing: if you was ever given this for breakfast, would you eat it? No. Oh my god, because that he actually makes this for breakfast. Like Jesus Christ, man. Imagine living with someone like that who just eats candy with all food. Like Jesus. All right, so the Peter Dinklage scene, definitely the funniest scene in the movie, man. Because like I said, Buddy doesn't really understand things and how real life works, and he didn't really realize that people who are human can also be short. So he didn't really understand that. So since he grew up with elves, he mistakenly calls him an elf, well, because he thinks he's an elf, and then, he just gets, Peter Dinklage character just gets really mad about that. And then the part when he says, "Call me an elf one more time," and then yeah, Buddy just says he's an angry elf, and then he just Peter Dinklage just jumps on the table and just attacks him. Lol. Then they just have a little fight, and then he even says it again, like, "Call me an elf one more time." Then he just says, "You an elf." Then he just gets slammed, and then that's when I guess he just Peter Dinklage's character just walks out and probably loses like an important business thing, And the dad's just like really mad and basically says that he disowns him. He doesn't really care that it's his son. He just wants, he wants him to get out of his life. And then afterwards, when he goes back home, he just leaves a note. And the kid's a bit sad about that and tries and actually runs away from home to look for Buddy. Yeah, yeah, pretty sad. But I guess when it comes to emotional moments, I feel like this is the biggest it gets. But compared to Home Alone, with their moments, it's not really on the same level. I just really enjoy this movie more because it's just so fun. And the way how they celebrate Christmas too. Yeah, they don't have like, well, the scene where he's on a date with his, I can't even say his girlfriend. It's not really his girlfriend, but they basically go on a date, and you just see him having fun. Like that's like if someone like that existed in real life, like he'd be a lot of fun to be around with, and that's why everyone likes him. Apart from, I guess, the Grinch character Walter. He's basically the Grinch in this movie, though. If you think about it, the way how he acts to everyone, like even with his kids and wife, he's not really around. So when Buddy leaves, it just feels like there was missing something this whole time. Like Buddy was that thing that was missing, and made him realize that yeah, the dad wasn't really that around, and is just too focused on his work. But it's good that he eventually, when the son's looking for Buddy, and it's kind of in a situation where his boss comes, yeah, Mr. Fulton, and if he leaves, he's gonna be fired, but he doesn't really care and says up yours, and the son says it as well. Lol. But yeah, they just go leave to find Buddy, and that's when his character becomes better at the very end, the third act. Well, I'm just gonna talk about the ending, and then I guess I'll just give my final thoughts. Did I even give the previous movie a rating like Ghost? I'm not sure if I did, but if I didn't, then I'll probably like do it in the comments or something, description, like what I would have gave the movie. Yeah, that's a 10 out of 10 anyway. So yeah, if I didn't, because I made that review like 2 days ago, and I kind of forgot if I rated it or not. But yeah, I'd rate this obviously 10 out of 10, like best Christmas movie. But yeah, I'm just gonna finish up the story now. So basically, they find Buddy in Central Park, but then you see these like Central Park rangers who are after Santa, and that's when Walter and Buddy's little brother actually get to meet Santa because he's trying to deliver presents on Christmas Eve, but there isn't really much Christmas spirit right now. And then when you see the news thing, like I guess Buddy's girlfriend tries to sin to bring people in their Christmas spirit, so the Santa can actually fly. The best way to spend Christmas spirit is for all to heal or something like that. I can't remember how it goes. And yeah, that's when she starts singing, and then the mom's also there and starts singing. I think she only comes because she sees that her son was there. Yeah, because he basically like takes Santa's book and kind of shows everyone and the new supporter, and then that's when you see some funny stuff, like with some biker guy, like something that he wanted was pretty funny. But he basically tells people like what they wanted for Christmas, so they'd believe in Santa, and then that's when the singing part happens. Yeah, I love that moment. Yeah, then you just see Buddy and well, Walter actually kind of tries to help by pretending to be Santa, but they don't really fall for it. Yeah, not really a brilliant disguise anyway. Just taking Santa's coat, and that's about it. You can tell it's not him anyway. They're not blind. But yeah, at least he tried. But then he eventually goes back and joins the singing. Because at first he doesn't really sing, but then his son convinces him, and then that's when you see Buddy and Santa Claus going past, and then everyone's just like in awe that oh my god, Santa is actually real. Yeah, because that new supporter, like, she was just thinking like, how would you know things that I actually want? Because even adults, like they're even on the list, and I guess I didn't say it earlier, but yeah, Walter was on the naughty list as well, and oh yeah, that was one of my other favorite scenes when Buddy finds out that he's on the naughty list. He just goes like, no. Yeah, every time I use a GIF and I say no, like that's the main one that I always use. Yeah, so many quotes from this movie. But yeah, he's definitely earned his place to be on the nice list now. With everything that he does at the end of the movie, because for most of the movie, he's kind of an ass to his son, even though with how his son's acting, like it's not normal. But man, you shouldn't really give up on him just like that after all these years that he hasn't been around. But yeah, eventually, like they all get on, and we get a happy ending. I guess Buddy spends time with his family who hasn't been with on Christmas Day, and then I guess he goes back to the North Pole with his girlfriend. She basically becomes the new Mrs. Claus, I guess. And yeah, that's pretty much how it ends. Also, one more thing, like I guess Buddy and his girlfriend have a baby together, and when he's gonna show the baby to Papa Elf, he just sits on him instead of giving him the baby, which is something that he also did in the beginning as well. Well, sit on his dad, even though he's like so big. A little bit he didn't know any better, but he still does it even though he knows the whole truth at this point. But yeah, lol. All right, guys, that was my review of Elf, my favorite Christmas movie. I really hope you enjoyed it. The last movie that I need to review was gonna be Tenant, but I think I'm just gonna make like a top 5 or 10 list of my favorite movies this year that I've actually got to see. I still need to review Wonder Woman, so I might still do that. But if I do, it won't be a long review. Yeah, I just try to make it like very quick, just giving basically my thoughts on the movie. Yeah. So that'd be like a 5 to 8 minute review, not really long, because yeah, I'm just gonna give my thoughts on that movie, like what I thought, because yeah, because because I wasn't really a big fan of the first one, but yeah, we'll just see how the second one goes when I get to watch it. Because yeah, just look out for that review, because that will be the last review of this year. But yeah, then I'll have like some top 5, top 10 lists. Mainly top 5 with how this year's been. Like it's been hard to have like a top 10 list for movies and games. So yeah, and TV shows. Like we'll see what I can do there. But yeah, guys, that's my review of Elf. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Merry Christmas.